Generational beef is so on site that lions will go out of their way to blow a hyena's back out and retire both of their back legs.
Okay, can you use a different phrasing, please? We live in the year of our Lord 2024. Blowing someone's back out means something else. So if we're gonna please try to use different words, thank you very much. Thank you. Let's watch. Don't watch if you're afraid to smile or cry. I think this is gonna be a wholesome / scary video. I think. I don't know. It's a mixed bag. It feels like. The weird goat. Wait, is this... This is not... Ew. I thought this was wholesome. Where's my boy Casual?
Yeah, about that.
There
So I've
he
been
is.
making content for almost 4 years now. And
I
in that
was scared. I thought he left us. I thought he didn't want to talk to us anymore.
time, I put therapists in Bentleys and more people on couches in the housing crisis of '08. Probably an exaggeration,
Stop,
but you get the point. I've
please.
ruined more animals
I've
for
had
people than the
enough
fans
of
Zootopia.
societal
So because
issues,
of that,
Casual
and because
Geographic.
this video is 2 years old now, I thought it'd be fun to remake it. So, same rules apply. I challenge you to watch this video with a straight face. If you smile, you lose.
Okay.
And because I'm that confident, comment where in the video you folded.
Don't smile.
Because I got an ace in the hole. And I
Chat,
don't
my
need
VTuber is kind of smiley, so it kind of looks like she smiles, but I'm not, okay? So don't think about it.
in Austin. There is one surefire way to make the terminally online smile.
Thank you for the follow. I'm not allowed to smile.
Oh my god!
Okay, I failed.
Yeah, had to
He
do
jumped.
it. Now for a while, I was
Yo, chat. How was I supposed to resist cat jump? How was I supposed to resist the cat jump? Look at it.
wasn't a believer. I thought cats pretending to be scared by their cubs was one of those feel-good facts we made up. Like the idea that the four-letter C word that elephants think of when they see us is cute. The problem with that theory is we've seen lions, tigers, leopards, and snow leopards all do this, so there's only two options. Either the most overqualified killing machines on earth also have the awareness of a kumquat, or cat moms actually play scared to boost their child's confidence. Likely to encourage the tyke to stalk, hunt, and all the things he'll need to get his own groceries one day. But the underrated part is they don't just act, they overreact the way any parent supporting their child would. I've seen leopards get DoorDash delivered to the dome and not jump
I love the way they
aside.
boing. They boing.
Things mothers do for love.
So they
But what
overplay
about
it, damn.
fathers? There is no child
That's
support
like me when chat says a not funny joke and I try to make them feel good, so I laugh at it.
in the wild, and nothing stopping most males from going out for milk indefinitely. But there are some exceptions, like Murphy. Murphy is a 31-year-old bald eagle living in the World Bird Sanctuary in Missouri, where the symbol of America is expected to spend the rest of his life after an injury left him unable to fly. He'd also probably never have a mate since he was never able to bond with any of the females. For a minute, it seemed Murphy's Law had her
Because
avoiding
now
a
we know
chokehold.
that the way eagles mate is they interlock toes mid-air.
But one day
That
last
eagle
spring,
ain't
keepers
bald.
noticed Murphy acting weird, or at least weird for a grounded avian incel. They took a closer look and realized Murphy had built a nest, but instead of an egg, he had a rock that he made his full-time
Pet
job
rock.
protecting from not just people, but the other eagles too. Scientists believe that spring hormonal changes had triggered a paternal response in Murphy. In other words, that baby fever had him acting different. But the story didn't end there. A couple weeks later, several miles away, an eagle nest had fallen during a bad storm. And one thing about eagle nests, they're much, much bigger than you think. The
Yo. Murphy's a male, by the way. Well, no shit.
fall killed one of the eagle chicks and left
His
the
name
other
is
one
Murphy.
an orphan. And
I
that's
would
how
think
Murphy
so.
got promoted from a rock to a real-life
Oh,
baby.
he has a real
Keepers
one.
introduced him with a little eaglet in a safety cage in case Murphy switched up and chose violence. He chose quite the opposite. He showed
That's a chicken. That's a chicken.
genuine curiosity in the orphan and eventually started feeding it completely on his own. And just like that, first-time father
Chicken.
Murphy took the chick under his semi-crippled wing and the two bonded. Bro manifested fatherhood. And only a
Chicken.
couple months later, Eaglet 23-126 was released back into the wild after being successfully raised by Murphy. And while it's technically bad luck to name a bird meant to be released, Murphy's son still managed to leave with a nickname, Rocky. Speaking of the rock that started it all, Murphy's rock child would be auctioned off with the proceeds going to the sanctuary's food bill. As for
Hey.
Murphy, I'm sure he's enjoying the empty nest. At least until next spring where he'll probably do it all over again. And speaking of bodyguards for birds, next, we gotta talk about the Maremma. This cotton-colored canine was bred
That's
in
a
the
dog.
mountains of Italy by farmers to protect their
What a
livestock from
dog
anything from
doing?
packs of wolves or bears to even white-tailed sea eagles. But they don't just look like sheep. Maremma puppies are often raised alongside sheep with very little human contact, leading to an overprotective Q-tip that views the entire flock as its family. Don't get me wrong, Maremmas have the personality of a cinnamon roll most of the time, until you give dog Toretto a
I just lost my dog. Man screaming emoji, fire emoji. Bro, go look for your dog, bro. Just take some tweets outside and go like kutsu 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 kutsu. Come on, man. Please.
reason. So in this case, if you flock around, you will find out. And that doesn't just go for sheep. On the complete opposite side of the world,
it's a meme. Wait, it's a meme. Oh shit! I thought you lost your dog. I thought you lost your dog, bro. That's what kind of meme is that? That's fucked up. That's fucked up, bro.
Coast of Australia, the world's smallest penguin was flirting with extinction. The little blue penguin nearly got wiped out of existence by foxes. So bad that the population that was once at 20,000 got cut down to 27. That's when a farmer had an idea. Swampy Marsh already had Maremma dogs guarding his free-range chickens, and you know what they say, penguins are just business chickens in suits. True. So he had two of his dogs, Ruby and Tula, raised around penguins. How'd they get their name? That's how. And just like that, the two dogs would see all penguins as their own, and as you can guess, they defended them like it. The Maremmas didn't even have to put foxes on shirts, just having their scent around was enough to make a fox readjust its grocery list. And it wasn't long until the pint-sized penguin population made a comeback. The two dogs that pioneered this have since retired, but to this day, you'll still see Maremmas running protection for the little blue penguins of Middle Island. You read the darkest days in American history, you'll find at least one dog trying to make it better. You don't need a history lesson to grasp just how horrific the 9/11 attacks were. It was rough on everybody, including the rest.
That caught me off guard. I did not expect that to be the next thing he said.
Rescue dogs. But you ever wonder what happened to the four-legged heroes of
Not the rescue dogs.
Well, this is Brittany. She's a golden retriever with a name that would give autocorrect an aneurysm. She was also the last surviving rescue dog from 9/11. Ground Zero was actually her first ever job with owner and trainer Denise Carlos, where they spent 10 days at the disaster site. Brittany would also go on to help with searches after Hurricane Katrina and her equally evil twin sister Rita. Brittany would retire at the old age of 9.
The dog has an evil sister?
Just this time in schools.
That's crazy.
She would go on to work in elementary schools as a reading dog. She was basically emotional support for
first graders. Reading dogs? Wait, so I learned how to read all by myself when I could have had a reading dog? Really? That's crazy.
For special needs children struggling with reading, and with Brittany on the clock, those same children actually performed better. But like honestly most good things in the world, Brittany was unfortunately taken from us in 2016. But not before getting a hero send-off from firefighters and rescue workers on her way to the animal hospital where she was retired from life. Brittany retired from helping people, but the next animal needed people to help her retire.
Oh, ew. Ew, why is he like that? Is he old or just stupid? Huh?
So this bear went viral because, let's be honest, if you've worked more than a minute or gone to college at some point, you've been this bear. But her backstory was less relatable and a whole lot less wholesome. This is Chatta, and for the first 14 years of her life, she was part of the Ukrainian circus, where she was exploited, tortured, and treated as a prop. Things didn't get much better when she was black.
I feel sad for her calling her stupid. He looks like you. No! I'm not a circus creature. I'm just a circus. I mean a creature. I mean a...
Out of the circus because her new home would be a small rusted cage above a garage. That would be cruel for a bulldog, let alone a whole bear. The abuse left her virtually blind and even cost her most of her teeth. Worst of all, Chatta is a Himalayan brown bear, an endangered species with only hundreds left in circulation. So long story short, it was all bad for Chatta. At least until 2019, when the beaten down bear was rescued and taken to the White Rock Sanctuary in Ukraine. So if she looks like the wrong side of the weekend, it's because she just woke up from a 20-year nightmare. That might actually be the first time she's ever touched grass in her 25 laps around the sun. What does a bear that spent 5 presidential terms in a box even do for fun? Well, if you ever see her, she's probably playing in her pool or making friends with a stick. As one does. Or she's channeling her inner old head and yelling at the bears and wolves for making too much noise. And even though she's 25 and allegedly too old for DiCaprio, Chatta's even been seen spitting game, kissing one of the other males in the sanctuary through a fence. A whole girl still got it, and I'd 100% commit a census subtraction for Chatta. But I would commit crimes against humanity and an affront to the Lord for our next animal. Question, totally unrelated by the way, but you ever wonder what animal was the first time we've ever seen a dwarf in nature? Well, you're looking at him. This isn't editing, this isn't Photoshop.
Wait.
This is an elephant just over 5 feet tall.
I
don't think
can't
y'all
tell. What am I? Am I supposed to be able to tell the size? I need a banana for scale or something. Or a human at least. A human will do. How can I tell this elephant is 5 feet? I can't tell. It's in a forest. The forest could be big or could be small. Please, I need better scale.
really hearing me. I can look this elephant in the eye. Got a little out of character there, but yeah, not only did biologists in Sri Lanka find this DeVito
I
built
can't
elephant,
tell.
they
It
really
looks
found
big.
man's trying
It
to
looks big to me. It looks big. I'm looking at it. It looks big. It looks like it could be an elephant when I see it alone.
square up with another male. Not to mention the steed of Tyrion Lannister was actually the aggressor.
So
Little
it's
guy
the
wanted
same
every
height as
ounce of
me.
the smoke.
It's 5'5".
Turns out being built like an aggressive footstool makes it really awkward to fight you. And I like to think all the elephants treated him no
Can we get even smaller elephants as pets? You're the problem in society, Chatter. You're the problem. You're one of the people that has caused us to go to the point we've gotten with the disease. Why we've created the different breeds of animals we've forced to create. Why? Because it's inhumane and unnatural. And most of the things that we breed to be small only live for like 2 years. Like, you know, they made like teacup dogs that only live for like a week. It is genuinely, it's like an abomination of nature that should not be made, that we've made, just because we want to play God.
differently, because even elephants understand. Sometimes shit happens. My only question is, with dating, right? You think you can reach? I feel like it would take creativity, the Kama Sutra, and a Pilates class for a female to make it work. I don't know where he is or what he's doing, but if I ever see bro in a Kevin Hart movie, then I can sleep well knowing he's found his purpose. But if there's one animal that needs a movie, it's one that got violated in one of the biggest box office.
Teacup dogs basically implode on contact with air, yeah. And also, I think they've also made foxes. They've tried to make foxes into dogs, but they still have fox behavior, so they just piss everywhere.
Come-ups of all time. I love Lion King, and Simba's revenge arc altered my brain chemistry for the better. But they'll forever catch smoke for having all the homies hating hyenas. In real life, lions steal from the laugh track of the savannah more than vice versa. And sometimes lions take more than just lunch. Generational beef is so on site that lions will go out of their way to blow a hyena's back out and retire both of their back legs.
Okay, can we use a different phrasing, please? We live in the year of our Lord 2024. Blowing someone's back out means something else. So if we're gonna please try to use different words, thank you very much. Thank you.
Kill them. They just nerf their quality of life and let time do the rest. And that's exactly what happened here, where this hyena was filmed after a lion left him operating on less than 50%.
Oh.
But apparently last Sunday wasn't the first time a lion couldn't kill a
so that's
49.
what you mean by blowing their back out. Oh.
Because that same hyena was found almost a year later, still paralyzed, but still very much alive.
Ah, Valis, thank you for the raid. Welcome.
Didn't really find a lot of info on him, so that's all we really know. Or at least it would be. If I didn't reach out to the guy that took the video. This is
know where
Keithan
he
Moore.
is?
He's a wildlife photographer who was kind enough to give me the full story, or at least from what he saw. So here's the full timeline of the hyena that ghosted death. Straight from the source. He first saw the handicapped hyena January 8th,
How does he even walk? Like, how does he
2022.
balance? That's crazy. That's crazy balance.
In Kruger National Park in South Africa. He was impressed, but also bittersweet since there was no way he would survive the African bush with a broken back. Except Moore would see the same hyena again in April. Same disability, but otherwise still healthy.
He's a survivor,
the real plot
man.
twist wasn't until he saw him around other hyenas. Keithan watched as the two-wheel drive ran over to a kill and started shoving hyenas out of the way, even snapping at one from behind. The disabled hyena was still bullying other hyenas in the clan and earning his pound of flesh, and Keithan even believes that he was one of the higher-ranking members. Keithan would see this middle finger to the Grim Reaper throughout the months before finding him for the last time on the last day of 2022.
Jesus,
almost a full
passing the
calendar
lion.
year after seeing him for the first time. According to Moore, he sat with the hyena all day, almost as if he knew. Now, Keithan hasn't seen him since, and while there is a good chance his time finally ran out, Moore also believes that he could have just moved on to another area with his clan. But even the worst case scenario means this dude survived at least a year after getting spine split by a lion. That's a W in and of itself. Unless you're a Lions fan. Now, we've talked about some of the weirdest animal team-ups in nature. There's warthogs using mongoose as a spa, a guinea pig doing the same thing except with vultures, and of course, the fact that ravens are a step away from fully weaponizing wolves. But there's another animal duo that nobody saw coming, and this one also involves wolves. This is an Ethiopian wolf, and out of the
Ooh.
almost 40 species of canines, they're the closest to getting completely discontinued. But they
No.
found an unlikely ally.
That's sad.
This is a gelada. It's really the
MONKE!
hippo of monkeys, because even though their
Sorry.
dental screams
I
carnival,
get excited at MONKE. MONKE! Thank you for the raid again, Valdez Golurk.
geladas have the diet of a lawnmower. Somehow the wolves figured out that their chances of a successful hunt are higher when they do it around the monkeys.
MONKE.
In fact, their success rate went from an anemic 25% when alone, all the way to 67% when surrounded by gelada gang. And somehow the same monkeys that run from the mountains when they see a feral or domestic dog are the very definition of unbothered around the wolves. The wolves even go out of their way to make themselves look like less of a threat, switching out their normal zigzag hunting run for a slower, less intimidating stalk. It's believed the grass-fueled geladas disturb rodents and stuff and make it easier for them to get picked off by the wolves. And even though the monkeys are about prey size, in about 8 years of research, there was only one time where a wolf tried to murk a baby monkey.
Yeah.
The wolf got dealt with violently and like a predator on a registry was never allowed near the herd again. So it might not be the Disney movie Wolves and Ravens are, but geladas and wolves might just be the most underrated duos in nature. But you won't find a better story than the tale of the BLT. The story of a lion, tiger, and bear cub all rescued from a basement in Atlanta and brought to the Noah's Ark Sanctuary. The three had bonded and were inseparable,
cute.
so they were nicknamed BLT.
Cute.
B for Baloo the bear, L for Leo the lion, and T for the tiger named Shere Khan.
Yo,
Baloo was
Five
like-
Nights at Freddy's are names though. Like, come on. Five Nights at Freddy's are names, but so cute.
like the chill older brother and the glue of the group.
I've never
Leo
heard of
was
this
the quiet,
before.
stoic one, and Shere Khan was easily the troublemaker.
They
but
have
by far the most
personalities. They're
affectionate.
like a ragtag team.
The three were basically conjoined triplets for 15 years until Leo would pass away in 2016 to inoperable liver tumors and Shere Khan expired in 2018.
Aw.
I'll drop a link to a video with the full story, but a lot of people wanted to know how Baloo was doing. So I asked them, and here's what they said. The last member of BLT is doing well and actually celebrated his 22nd birthday last
He
July.
has
He hasn't been introduced to
presents.
other animals since Shere Khan and Leo, but considering black bears are solitary, he's probably happier that way. And best believe the star of Noah's Ark gets spoiled with fruitcakes, ice treats, and even bubble baths. They even went and renovated his old clubhouse because Baloo only deserves the best, and when he's not in there, he's enjoying life in his own private personal
He has
pool.
balloons.
Low-key, bro living better than me. So how's Baloo doing? He's doing how he deserves. Also, his favorite
has
treats are Tootsie
balloons.
Pops and Oreos. That has nothing to do with anything, I just thought it was cool. Speaking of Oreos, what do a parrot, a raven, a seal, and a beluga all have in common? They've all shown the ability to mimic human speech, from conversing corvids to cat.
I was not expecting the good boy. Oh, for free, man. Yo, hear me out, male raven VTuber. Good boy. Yo, that raven plays Valorant for sure, though.
Calling seals. But there's another
What? Come over here. Come over here, bro.
animal not enough people know about, and that would be Wilkie, a 14-year-old orca in
Wilkie.
Antibes, France,
Well,
and the first one to ever
Wilkie.
mimic human speech. And before you say it, no, not like this.
Okay,
I
good.
think. I hope. You see, orcas aren't just intelligent, they have cultures and different trends that they follow, just like us.
Oh my
They
god,
also
they're
have
like, oh my god, hashtag eat the seaweed challenge. Hashtag poisonous and anemone eating challenge.
different dialects, with each family group having different tones and frequencies. It's like how I can say Aaron earned an iron earn, but if you in Baltimore, you finna hear Wilkie was trained to mimic her caretaker, saying things like hello, bye-bye, and even count to 3.
1, 2, 3.
Hey,
He
Judge,
tried
listen
his best. But the crow and the seal did a bit better, but he tried his best.
Remember, they're doing that from a nostril on their head. It's all fun and games until you're on a boat and a desaturated serial killer tells you bye-bye. But like with other talking animals, orcas are just mimicking the sounds they hear around them. Mimicry is a vital skill for a lot of animals, but it's also led to one of the most iconic animal pictures of all time. You've definitely seen this viral picture, but you probably don't know the tragic chain of events that led to it. The man taking the selfie is Machu Shamavu, and the two girls behind him are Dakazi on the left and
When
Ndezi.
you said the two girls, I was just like,
It was taken in Virunga National Park, home to up to 1,000 endangered mountain gorillas. Here, the biggest threat to a 400-pound pacifist is poachers, either trafficking babies as pets or straight up slaughtering adults to sell as trophies. And that's what happened in 2007.
It's so human-shaped. How can you harm it? I mean, it's the fact for all animals, but it's just especially fucked up. When you see a gorilla tied up like that, it's so human-shaped. I'm like, there should be something in your brain that tells you this is extra fucked up.
Gorilla taking a bullet to the back of the head, execution style. She was long gone by the time rangers got to her, but they found 2-month-old Dakazi still clinging to her life-deprived mother. She was taken in, but it wasn't looking good. She was severely dehydrated after 24 hours without milk, and even developed pneumonia 2 weeks after being brought in. That's when Andre Bauma
People
got
are
involved.
human-shaped and we treat them pretty bad. I mean, to be fair, you're right. Why do I have hope, man? You're very right.
He was the manager of the orphanage Dakazi was brought to, and he willed the sick baby gorilla back to health. The very first time they met, Andre held the baby against his bare chest for warmth and kept her there all night. Unfortunately, the story would only get worse. Barely a month later, another attack cost the park 5 gorillas, and yet another orphan was brought in, this one named Ndezi. Dakazi and Ndezi were raised together and became not just lifelong friends, but sisters. Not only did Dakazi see her as family, she saw Andre Bauma as a mother. Gender roles be damned, and the feeling was mutual, with Andre seeing the orphans as daughters. Now, raising children's hard enough, and gorillas are no exception, but Andre actually had a secret weapon to keep the girls in line. Pringles.
Pringles?
Yeah, we're not that different. Now, one thing about gorillas is that babies often learn by imitating the adults around them, and with only humans around, the sisters eventually started seeing the other rangers as role models.
I mean, it's better than the experiment where a guy actually raised his daughter with a monkey. Like his son, he raised his son with a monkey.
One day, a ranger noticed he had 2 shadows mimicking his every move, so he pulled out his phone, snapped a picture, and that's how the world got blessed with this. Now, unfortunately, in September of 2021, Dakazi would pass away at 14 after a long-standing illness, and she spent her last moments in the arms of Andre Bauma.
That's so sad!
Yeah, the same man that held her that night 14 years ago. So where are
No,
they
you
now?
see what the video
Ndezi's
said,
still
try not
alive
to
and
smile or
actually
cry.
serving as a role model for the younger gorillas in the park the same way her sister did. Mr. Bauma still out there making a difference any way he can. And Matthew, he clearly hasn't slowed down with the selfies. But that's gonna do it for this video. Drink water, hug your parents.
Why is it
Shout out to
raining in here,
Lions
chat?
fans.
Why
I know
is it
I rag
raining
on
in
y'all a lot,
ours?
but I low-key have respect for you guys, and if it was up to me, y'all would be the ones in the Super Bowl. Shout out to Kathan Moore for helping me
It's
with
just
this.
something
Please go
about
check him out and tell him I
animals
sent you there.
dying in
And
the arms of their loved ones that get me.
I'ma see y'all.
I don't know why. It's just something about it gets me. Yeah, I mean, that was wholesome. That was the cleanse we needed, chat. For sure. Yeah, epic.